The first streetlight bloomed above the empty avenue, just as the evening folded itself into velvet silence, and I felt the entire city breathing in rhythm with the restless hope I had hidden beneath my ribs for so long. Every cafe window reflected another version of my future, glowing warmly enough to convince me that forgotten dreams never truly disappear. They simply wait until our hearts are brave enough to return. Your voice remains suspended somewhere between the echo of distant traffic and the soft hum of the midnight wind, becoming the only melody I carried without ever needing to hear it again. I watch pale clouds drift slowly across the moon, like old memories refusing to leave the stage before the final curtain had fallen over another beautiful chapter. The night wrapped itself around my shoulders with gentle hands, reminding me that loneliness and wonder often arrive together beneath the same endless sky. The ocean stretched beyond imagination, reflecting scattered constellations until it seemed impossible to tell where the heavens ended and the water quietly began. A forgotten lighthouse continued its patient dance against the darkness, proving that even a single light can become an entire universe for someone searching from far away. Every wave carried tiny pieces of stories, abandoned by strangers who once believed forever could fit inside one unforgettable summer. The salt air softened every painful memory until regret transformed into something almost graceful. Beneath the silver moonlight, I whispered my fears into the wind and watched them disappear like smoke dissolving into dawn. Autumn leaves drifted across abandoned sidewalks, while distant church bells floated through the cool evening like timeless prayers, searching for open hearts. Old apartment windows glowed softly above narrow streets where invisible lives unfolded with quiet beauty behind every curtain. The fragrance of rain lingered over cracked stone pathways, making every ordinary corner feel sacred for a single breathtaking moment. My reflection followed beside me inside every puddle until I could no longer recognize which version of myself belonged to yesterday. Still, hope continued walking beside me without asking for certainty. Golden sunrise slowly replaced the deep blue horizon, covering tired rooftops with colors too gentle for words alone to describe. Birds welcomed the morning with fearless songs, while sleepy gardens awakened beneath drops of crystal light. Every heartbeat became another promise to keep believing. Despite every unanswered question carried through the night, the world felt unfinished in the most beautiful way, leaving space for miracles to quietly arrive. I smiled because tomorrow had finally begun, speaking in the language of light. Some stories are never written inside books because they belong only to wandering souls who choose wonder over certainty. Every silent road remembers footsteps that disappeared long before the stars learned their names. The moon carefully gathered forgotten wishes from empty rooftops, carrying them beyond ordinary dreams. Love became less like a destination, more like the horizon that always invited another journey. I stopped searching for forever and began discovering eternity inside fleeting moments. The city slowly awakened beneath soft amber skies, while cafes unlock their doors for strangers carry invisible dreams. Every smile exchanged between unfamiliar faces felt like another quiet reminder that kindness survives every season. Sunlight painted long reflections across peaceful rivers until even ordinary water shimmered like liquid gold. I breathed deeply and realized healing often arrives without announcing itself. The morning welcomed every heart willing to begin again. If our names are forgotten by the passing years, the stars will still remember the promises we trusted to the night. The ocean will continue singing her unfinished melodies long after every footprint has vanished beneath the tide. The first street light bloomed above the empty avenue, just as the evening folded itself into velvet silence, and I felt the entire city breathing in rhythm with At the edge of the sleeping valley stood an old cathedral wrapped in ivy, where stained glass windows gathered the final shades of evening and scattered them across the stone floor like fragments of forgotten dreams. Blue feathers drifted gently through the open arches, carried by a quiet wind that seemed to remember every prayer whispered there across countless generations. The silence was never empty. It breathed with invisible stories hidden between ancient walls, polished smooth by time and hope. I walked slowly beneath towering ceilings, where every echo sounded softer than forgiveness and brighter than regret. For the first time, my heart felt lighter than the sky, waiting beyond the bell tower. Outside, wild roses climbed weathered stone until every crack became a cradle for unexpected beauty. A narrow river wound through the meadow below, reflecting pale clouds that drifted lazily toward distant mountains, touched by the last golden light. Birds crossed the horizon in graceful circles, leaving delicate shadows dancing across the fields. Even the breeze seemed to pause, unwilling to disturb the quiet miracle unfolding beneath the evening sky. The world held its breath with gentle wonder. Inside the old library, beside the chapel, forgotten books rested peacefully beneath layers of dust that glittered whenever sunlight found its way through the tall windows. Every worn page carried voices from another century, speaking softly about courage, love, and the strange beauty of ordinary days. I traced my fingertips across faded ink, imagining the dreamers who had once believed words could outlive time itself. Perhaps they were right, because every sentence still carried warmth after all those years. Some stories never truly grow old. When midnight arrived, the moon poured silver light across the cathedral roof, until every stone seemed carved from quiet starlight instead of earth. Owls called gently from distant trees, while countless constellations gathered above the valley like patient guardians, watching over forgotten hopes. The river shimmered with celestial reflections, becoming a mirror where heaven and earth briefly shared the same face. I understood that peace often arrives when we finally stop searching for perfection. It had been waiting here all along. Morning entered through the stained glass in waves of sapphire, amber, emerald, and rose, filling every corner with colors too alive to describe. Flowers opened beside the old pathway, as though they had been listening for the first note of dawn. The bells rang softly across the countryside, inviting every wandering soul to begin another day with quiet courage. No voice answered, yet the silence itself felt like a blessing. Hope settled gently over the valley. The afternoon unfolded beneath endless blue skies, where white clouds drifted like ships sailing across invisible oceans. Children laughed in the nearby fields, while butterflies floated above the wildflowers without any concern for passing hours. Every ordinary sound blended into a gentle symphony, celebrating simple moments often forgotten in busy lives. I realize happiness rarely arrives dramatically, it grows quietly beside gratitude. The truth remained with me long after the sun began to set. If one day these ancient walls return to the earth from which they were built, the songs they protected will still echo through every heart willing to listen. The blue feathers will continue drifting across unseen skies, carrying quiet blessings beyond every horizon. Every sunrise will paint new colors upon old memories without erasing their beauty. Love becomes eternal whenever kindness outlives fear. And somewhere beyond the clouds, another cathedral already waiting in the light. Cherry-colored clouds drifted across the western sky, while the last warmth of the afternoon melted into quiet shades of crimson and gold, making the horizon look like a painting that had forgotten where reality ended. The air carried the sweet fragrance of blooming orchards mixed with distant rain, wrapping every breath in memories that felt older than my own heart. An old vinyl record spun softly inside a small wooden house, with its windows open to the evening breeze, letting forgotten melodies escape into the fields. Every note floated across the tall grass until even the silence seemed to hum with invisible music. I closed my eyes and imagined tomorrow arriving on wings woven from light instead of fear. The country road stretched endlessly between rows of flowering cherry trees, whose petals danced through the air like tiny pieces of snowfall, arriving in the middle of summer. A weathered fence followed the curve of the hills, while distant horses wandered peacefully beneath fading sunlight. The sky slowly transformed into deep violet as the first evening star quietly announced another beautiful night. Every breeze carried a gentle reminder that nothing precious is ever truly lost, while it continues living inside memory. The landscape breathed with calm and endless grace. Far beyond the orchards, an abandoned train station waited beneath climbing ivy and faded lanterns that still remembered the footsteps of countless travelers. Rusted tracks disappeared toward mountains wrapped in blue mist, inviting every curious soul to imagine destinations untouched by ordinary maps. The platform remained silent except for the soft whisper of leaves moving through ancient trees. Even forgotten places possess their own quiet dignity when time chooses kindness instead of haste. I stood there until the moon slowly claimed the evening sky. Night unfolded gently across the valley while stars reflected inside. The calm river winding through fields of wildflowers. Fireflies drifted above the water like tiny floating embers, carried by invisible dreams. The scent of lavender filled the cool air, softening every heavy thought that had followed me through the day. For the first turned with crystal dew, resting upon every blossom, transforming the orchard into a sea of shimmering light. Birdsong echoed through the branches while the sun climbed slowly above the hills, in quiet celebration of another beginning. Every flower opened without hesitation, trusting the day before it had fully arrived. Their courage reminded me that beauty often grows strongest in gentle places. Hope bloomed beside them in perfect silence. The afternoon breeze scattered thousands of pink petals across empty paths, where yesterday's footprints had already disappeared beneath the passing seasons. Clouds drifted lazily through an endless blue sky, while butterflies wandered from blossom to blossom without any fear of time. The world felt suspended between dream and memory, allowing every ordinary moment to glow with extraordinary peace. I realized happiness often speaks in whispers instead of grand declarations. Those whispers became my favorite song. If one spring the cherry blossoms fail to bloom, their beauty will still survive inside every soul that once stood beneath their branches. The wind will continue carrying their invisible fragrance across distant valleys and quiet hearts. Every sunset will remember the colors they painted upon the earth. Love, like the seasons, always finds another way to return. And beyond every crimson horizon, another miracle is already beginning. Summer arrived, wearing soft shades of gold, slipping quietly through open windows, while the scent of blooming jasmine lingered in every room we once filled with impossible dreams. The boulevard shimmered beneath the afternoon sun, and every passing car looked like another memory racing toward a future neither of us had learned how to imagine. I traced invisible circles across dusty tables, where our unfinished conversations still seemed to rest beneath the silence, like forgotten love letters. Your smile survived inside every beautiful place, transforming ordinary streets into scenes from a film that refused to fade with time. Even the sky seemed to pause above us, as though it wanted one more chance to remember our names before the evening arrived. Twilight painted the coastline with lavender shadows, while gentle waves folded themselves against the shore like whispered confessions, too delicate to speak aloud. The wind carried echoes of distant laughter through empty boardwalks, leaving behind a bittersweet melody that belonged to no one and everyone at once. Old amusement lights flickered against the horizon, glowing with the quiet dignity of forgotten celebration. stroll softly across narrow streets, where antique storefronts reflected shimmering lights upon the pavement, like fragments of another lifetime. Every cafe held strangers writing stories inside notebooks, each page carrying dreams invisible to everyone except the hearts brave enough to keep creating them. I wondered whether destiny preferred quiet souls who listened more than they spoke. The evening breeze wrapped around my shoulders like a familiar promise that refused to disappear despite every goodbye. Some loves become silent constellations that continue glowing long after the night has changed. The morning arrives slowly, spilling pale light across rooftops until every chimney and window looked dipped in liquid pearl. Flowers open toward the sun with effortless grace, never questioning whether tomorrow would bring another season of beauty. The city awakened beneath distant church bells and the comforting rhythm of ordinary life beginning again. I realized healing often sounds like birds singing before anyone else remembers to smile. Every sunrise carried another invitation to begin without fear. The pages of an old journal fluttered beneath the breeze, revealing words that had patiently waited years to be read once more. Every sentence reminded me that hearts are stronger than the storms they quietly survive. The moon had witnessed every promise we believed would outlive time itself. Even broken dreams reflected tiny pieces of light when held gently enough. Hope continued blooming where certainty had quietly disappeared. The stars gathered above the hills like scattered diamonds, resting upon deep blue velvet, illuminating every forgotten road leading home. Silence no longer frightened me because it carried the gentle rhythm of acceptance instead of loneliness. Every heartbeat became another step toward a horizon brighter than yesterday. The wind erased old footprints while protecting the courage that created them. Tomorrow waited patiently on the final star. If every season changes the colors of the earth, I hope our memories remain untouched beneath the endless sky. The rivers will continue flowing toward distant oceans, carrying whispers of every dream we released into their currents. The moon will always recognize the hearts that loved without asking for forever in return. Every goodbye leaves behind invisible seeds that blossom into unexpected hope. And somewhere beyond the sunrise, another beautiful story has already begun. The first evening of July unfolded like a silk ribbon across the coastline, wrapping the quiet town in warm amber light, while the sea reflected every fading color of the sunset. Old beach houses stood patiently against the wind, their weathered porches holding echoes of conversations that had disappeared long before we learned the meaning of goodbye. I wandered barefoot across cool sand, where every footprint seemed to become another fragile promise entrusted to the patient tide. The scent of salt, jasmine, and distant bonfires drifted through the air, weaving together memories too beautiful to belong only to the past. For one impossible moment, I believed the ocean had learned our names and refused to forget them. The boardwalk stretched endlessly beneath strings of tiny lights that glimmered like fallen constellations resting gently upon the earth. Laughter echoed from distant cafes, while soft music floated through open windows, blending with the rhythmic breathing of the waves. The breeze lifted loose strands of my hair as though it wished to carry every heavy thought far beyond the horizon. Seagulls circled lazily above the quiet harbor before disappearing into a sky painted with shades of lavender and pearl. Even silence seemed filled with quiet celebration. Midnight arrived dressed in silver, transforming every rooftop, sailboat and narrow street into a dream illuminated by moonlight alone. I watched reflections shimmer across the sea until the water resembled a sky where stars had chosen to live beneath instead of above. A lonely lighthouse continued, sending gentle beams into the darkness, never asking whether anyone remained to see them. Its quiet devotion reminded me that faith often survives long after certainty disappears. The night embraced every unanswered question with extraordinary tenderness. Morning awakened the town with the fragrance of fresh bread, blooming flowers and sunlight spilling through white curtains fluttering beside open windows. Children chased waves along the shoreline, while elderly fishermen smiled toward the horizon with peaceful patience, certain through countless seasons. Every ordinary moment carried the elegance of something impossible to replace. Once it had quietly passed, I realized that gratitude often arrives disguised as simplicity. The day unfolded gently, like an old love song remembered at exactly the right moment. Far beyond the harbor, sailboats drifted through calm water, where the sky and ocean merged into one endless shade of blue. Clouds moved so slowly, they seemed unwilling to interrupt the peaceful rhythm of the afternoon. Wildflowers leaned toward the breeze, growing along cliffs that overlooked the endless sea. Every color appeared soft slowly turned. Lanterns illuminated narrow streets, where musicians played quiet melodies beneath balconies covered in climbing roses. The sound of distant violins blended effortlessly with the gentle crash of waves against old stone walls. People smiled at strangers without needing reasons, allowing kindness to become part of the evening air itself. I understood that happiness sometimes hides inside places that ask nothing from us except our attention. The stars appeared one by one like silent blessings. If these ivory summers ever fade into photographs tucked inside forgotten drawers, their light will still remain inside every heart they once touched. The sea will continue carrying our whispered dreams toward horizons too distant for fear to follow. The moon will forever recognize the shoreline where hope quietly learned to bloom again. Every goodbye leaves behind another beautiful season, waiting patiently to begin. And somewhere beyond the final sunset, the ghosts of summer will keep dancing beneath endless skies. Six moonflowers never lie. The moonflowers opened only after the last shades of daylight disappeared, filling the midnight garden with a quiet beauty that seemed too fragile to belong to the ordinary world. I wandered beneath silver branches while tiny stars trembled above the trees, as though the heavens themselves were listening to every secret hidden inside my heartbeat. The air smelled of fresh rain and white blossoms, weaving together memories that had slept beneath the soil of time, until this gentle evening awakened them again. Every path through the garden curved toward another mystery, inviting me to believe that even lost souls can still find a place where they finally belong. I whispered your name into the cool night, and the wind carried it carefully beyond the hills without letting it break. The old greenhouse glowed with soft candlelight, revealing vines that climbed forgotten walls, as though they had spent years reaching toward invisible constellations. Tiny drops of water rested upon every leaf like crystal promises, waiting for the sunrise to transform them into diamonds. I touched the worn wooden doorway and imagined every story it had quietly protected from the passing years. The silence around me felt alive, breathing drifted through the sleeping valley, carrying pale reflections of the moon across water, so calm it looked like polished glass. The reeds swayed with effortless grace, singing melodies too ancient for words, yet somehow familiar to every lonely heart. Somewhere in the distance, an owl called through the forest, its lonely voice echoing beneath endless skies filled with shimmering stars. I realize that nature never rushes beauty, it simply allows it to unfold in perfect silence. For the first time in years, my heart felt lighter than the wind. Morning arrived quietly, painting the petals with golden light, until every flower seemed to hold a tiny sunrise inside its delicate embrace. Birds welcomed the dawn with fearless songs, while gentle mist floated across the meadow, like forgotten dreams refusing to disappear. The world awakened slowly, allowing every beautiful detail to reveal itself without hurry. Even the smallest blossom carried enough grace to transform an ordinary day into something unforgettable. I smiled because wonder had finally become stronger than fear. The clouds drifted lazily across a brilliant blue sky, while butterflies wandered through fields overflowing with quiet color. The breeze carried the fragrance of blooming lavender, wrapping every breath in peaceful warmth. Old stone fences stretched toward the horizon, guarding gardens that had survived countless seasons with patient dignity. I discovered that happiness often hides inside moments too gentle for the world to notice. Those moments became my favorite kind of forever. As twilight returned, the moonflowers slowly open once more, proving that some miracles belong only to those willing to wait through the longest evenings. The first stars appeared above the hills, one after another, until the heavens sparkled like scattered pearls across deep velvet. The garden welcomed every shadow without fear, knowing the moon would always return. I understood that faith is sometimes nothing more than believing in tomorrow before dawn arrives. That belief quietly changed everything. If the seasons carry these blossoms away, their fragrance will remain inside every memory they touched beneath the moonlit sky. The river will continue whispering gentle songs to travelers who pause long enough to truly listen. Every star will remember the night when forgotten dreams learned how to bloom again. Love grows most beautifully in places where patience outlives doubt, and every moonflower will keep telling the truth long after the night has faded. The moonflowers opened only after. Nine Neon reflections stretched across the rain-covered boulevard, turning every puddle into a galaxy where the city quietly borrowed its colors from distant stars. I carried an old notebook beneath my arm, filling empty pages with letters addressed to Saturn, because the people on Earth had forgotten how to understand beautiful silence. The skyline shimmered beneath slow-moving clouds, while midnight trains crossed bridges wrapped in silver mist. Every traffic light changed with patient rhythm, reminding me that even waiting can become part of a greater journey. I looked toward the heavens, believing someone somewhere beyond the constellations was reading every word I never dared to send. The rooftop overlooked thousands of glowing windows, each one protecting a different story, unfolding beneath warm lamps and quiet conversations. The cool wind carried the scent of rain mixed with blooming lilies from hidden gardens scattered across the sleeping city. Far above, the stars remained untouched by hurried clocks or restless ambitions, shining with effortless certainty through the darkness. I wondered how many wishes had already traveled farther than the dreams that created them. The night answered only with gentle stillness. An abandoned observatory stood quietly upon the hill, its great telescope still pointing faithfully toward galaxies older than memory itself. Dust covered forgotten maps of the heavens, while moonlight painted soft silver lines across cracked wooden floors. Every room echoed with the curiosity of those who had spent lifetimes searching for impossible answers. Their questions still floated through the silence like invisible constellations waiting to be discovered again. Hope has always belonged to those willing to keep looking upward. Dawn arrived with pale shades of lavender, gently dissolving the stars into a sky bright enough to welcome another beginning. Birds cross the horizon while sunlight climbs slowly across distant rooftops and quiet rivers. The city awakened without realizing how beautiful it had been, while everyone else was asleep. Every new morning carried the promise that unfinished dreams could still become tomorrow's reality. I folded my final letter and smiled toward the rising sun. Afternoon clouds drifted lazily above old libraries, where forgotten books patiently waited for curious hands to awaken their stories once again. The scent of worn paper and polished wood filled every quiet corner with timeless comfort. Outside, bicycles rolled gently along tree-lined streets, where flowers scattered bright colors across the sidewalks. Even ordinary hours became extraordinary when observed with an open heart. Wonder quietly lived inside every unnoticed deed. each one holding another life, filled with hidden joys and silent struggles. The breeze turned the pages of my notebook until the final blank sheet rested beneath my hand. I wrote only one sentence before closing it forever. The universe has always known the way home. If my letters never reached Saturn, perhaps they were never meant to leave the earth at all. Perhaps they belonged to every lonely soul searching for light beyond familiar horizons. The stars will continue answering quietly, not with words, but with endless beauty. Every dream sent into the night becomes another constellation, waiting to be recognized. And every sunrise begins where faith decides to outshine fear. The boulevard shimmered beneath pale blue lights, as though the city had borrowed its heartbeat from the stars above the sleeping rooftops. I carried every unfinished conversation inside my coat pocket, hoping the cold night would preserve every beautiful word we never found the courage to say. Old cinemas glowed with fading gold, while forgotten melodies drifted through cracked windows like ghosts searching for one final dance. Your silhouette dissolved into the evening fog, yet every passing stranger somehow borrowed the outline of your smile for only a second. I walked toward tomorrow, believing every lonely mile could still become another chapter filled with impossible light. The ocean whispered softly beneath the moon, inviting every broken promise to sink into peaceful silence instead of endless regret. Silver waves embraced abandoned piers, where forgotten dreams rested beside seashells polished by countless seasons. Every lighthouse blinked patiently across the horizon, reminding wandering hearts that darkness never owns the sea forever. I learned that distance could never erase the warmth of memories carried honestly through time. Even empty skies eventually welcomed another sunrise without asking permission from yesterday. Your favorite perfume lingered inside forgotten hallways, where quiet afternoons collected dust and invisible laughter. Flowers climbed old brick walls with fearless determination, blooming beautifully despite never being noticed by hurried strangers. The wind carried tiny pieces of autumn through my hands until every leaf resembled another unfinished letter. I searched for answers inside reflections, trembling across rain-soaked pavement, beneath silent traffic lights. Love remained invisible, but left fingerprints upon everything beautiful. Golden afternoon slowly surrendered to sapphire evenings, where every rooftop became another island floating inside endless clouds. The city lights awaken one by one like distant constellations, carefully stitched into the earth below. Every passing train carried unknown stories toward destinations hidden beyond the mountains. Hope quietly followed behind every goodbye, wearing the colors of another beginning. I smiled because the future still sounded like music, waiting behind a closed door. Candles flickered beside dusty books while forgotten poems breathed softly between worn pages. Every sentence became another bridge connecting yesterday to dreams that refused to disappear. The silence surrounding me never felt empty, because it echoed with every heartbeat you left behind. I watched the stars rearrange themselves as though they were rewriting fate above our heads. Faith returned gently, wrapped inside moonlight and patience. Morning painted the skyline with soft lavender, while birds traced invisible circles through awakening skies. Every breath tasted like rain, preparing distant gardens for another season of quiet miracles. The streets slowly filled with strangers carrying invisible hopes, hidden behind ordinary smiles. I realized every ending secretly protected another beginning, waiting just beyond fear. The horizon welcomed us without asking who we had been yesterday. If every memory fades like footprints beneath the tide, I will still remember how your light transformed ordinary nights into forever. The moon will continue floating above silent oceans, carrying our forgotten wishes through endless constellations. Every road eventually becomes another invitation to believe in impossible destinations. Even after the final goodbye, love continues blooming where courage once decided to stay. The sky will always leave one star shining for hearts that refuse to stop dreaming. The motel sign flickered in soft sapphire blue, casting long reflections across the empty highway, where the night seemed wide enough to hide every dream we had ever been afraid to speak aloud. I rolled the windows down and let the cool desert air fill the silence between us, hoping the stars would answer questions neither of us could explain. Far beyond the last exit, mountains rested beneath the blanket of moonlight, like forgotten kingdoms, waiting for someone brave enough to remember them again. Every mile carried another heartbeat away from yesterday, yet every memory remains sitting quietly in the passenger seat beside me. I kept driving because sometimes the road understands broken hearts better than words ever could. The jukebox inside the quiet diner played melodies that floated through the room like old photographs coming back to life beneath warm amber lights. Coffee steamed gently across the table while strangers exchanged tired smiles that carried stories too heavy for ordinary conversations. Outside, the rain finally reached the pavement, turning the parking lot into a shimmering mirror for the midnight sky. I realized even forgotten places can become sacred when hope quietly decides to stay for a little longer. The night never hurried us, allowing every second to unfold with graceful patience. A lonely gas station glowed beside endless fields, where the wind whispered through tall grass like voices from another lifetime. The moon followed every curve of the highway until it felt less like a distant planet and more like an old friend refusing to leave. I watched shooting stars disappear before I could finish making wishes, reminding me that miracles rarely wait for perfect timing. Every distant headlight looked like another soul searching for the same impossible answer. The darkness no longer felt empty because it shimmered with quiet possibilities. Morning painted the desert in pale rose and gold, revealing hidden beauty that only existed after surviving the longest nights. The horizon stretched forever, inviting every restless traveler to begin again without carrying yesterday's fear. Birds traced invisible circles above silent canyons, while the first sunlight touched ancient stone. Every breath felt lighter than the one before, as though forgiveness had quietly arrived before dawn. The road smiled back beneath the morning sky. I found an old postcard tucked inside my jacket. It's faded ink still carrying promises written by someone who believed forever could fit inside a single summer. The edges had softened with time, yet every word remained alive, like flowers blooming through cracked concrete after spring rain. I closed my eyes and imagined every place we never reached together, each one glowing somewhere beyond the horizon. Perhaps some dreams are meant to guide us instead of becoming reality. Perhaps that is their quiet kind of beauty. Evening returned wrapped in violet clouds, while distant thunder rolled gently across the mountains, like a forgotten orchestra warming up for the stars. The highway reflected endless ribbons of light stretching toward places with names I had never learned to pronounce. Every passing mile became another gentle reminder that healing is measured by courage instead of time. The sky slowly gathered constellations one by one until darkness itself began to sparkle. I finally believed tomorrow was already looking for me. If these motel lights disappear before another traveler arrives, their glow will still remain somewhere inside the stories they quietly witness. The wind will remember every promise carried across forgotten highways beneath endless skies. The stars will continue watching over every wandering heart, searching for home in unfamiliar places. I rolled the windows down and let the cold desert air fill the silence between us, hoping the stars would answer questions neither of us could explain. Far beyond the last exit, mountains rested beneath a blanket of moonlight, like forgotten kingdoms waiting for someone brave enough to remember them again. Every mile carried another heartbeat away from yesterday, yet every memory remains sitting quietly in the passenger seat beside me. I kept driving because sometimes the road understands broken hearts better than words ever could. The motel sign flickered in soft sapphire blue, casting long reflections. The carousel kept turning beneath thousands of tiny golden lights. Even after every child had gone home and the music had faded into the quiet breathing of the evening sky. Its painted horses looked as though they had been waiting for decades to carry forgotten dreams toward places untouched by ordinary time. I stood beside the weathered fence, watching reflections dance across puddles left behind by a passing summer storm. The scent of caramel rain and blooming roses drifted gently through the empty fairgrounds like memories refusing to grow old. For a moment I believed every ending was only another beginning, wearing different colors. Old ticket booths stood peacefully beneath strings of glowing bulbs, guarding stories no history book would ever remember. The Ferris wheel rested against the stars like a silent clock, measuring hope instead of hours. A distant breeze carried echoes of forgotten laughter across the empty paths until loneliness transformed into quiet nostalgia. The moon wrapped every attraction in silver light, making ordinary wood and steel appear almost magical. Every shadow seemed to protect another beautiful secret beyond Beyond the carnival gates, endless fields shimmered beneath pale moonlight, while fireflies floated above the grass like tiny constellations that had chosen the earth instead of the sky. The gentle wind bent the wild flowers without breaking them, reminding me that softness often survives storms better than strength. Far away, a lonely train crossed the horizon with a whistle so gentle it sounded like someone whispering goodbye. Every heartbeat followed that distant melody into places memory could never fully reach. The night became an endless painting filled with quiet miracles. Morning slowly covered the fairgrounds with warm amber light, revealing chipped paint, old ribbons, and faded banners that still carried traces of forgotten celebrations. Birds perched upon the carousel roof as though they had inherited the songs once played by the old calliope. The dew sparkled across every wooden platform until the entire carnival looked stitched together from tiny pieces of glass. I realized beauty doesn't disappear when time passes. It simply changes into something gentler. The thought stayed with me longer than the sunrise. I found a faded photograph resting beneath one of the benches, its edges softened by countless seasons of rain and sunlight. The smiling faces inside it belonged to strangers, yet their happiness somehow felt familiar enough to become part of my own story. Perhaps every photograph is a doorway that never truly closes. Perhaps every memory keeps glowing somewhere beyond the reach of time. I folded the picture carefully and carried it with me into the afternoon. As twilight returned, the carousel awakened once again beneath strings of shimmering lights that reflected inside every raindrop left upon the ground. Music drifted softly through the evening air, sounding older than yesterday and younger than tomorrow, all at once. The painted horses continued their endless circle with quiet grace, never asking where the journey might end. I watched them spin beneath the stars until my worries became smaller than the distance between constellations. The night smiled with patient kindness. If one day the carousel finally stands still, the stories it carried will continue turning inside every heart that ever believed in impossible places. The lights may fade, but wonder will forever linger beneath the same faithful sky. Every forgotten melody will find another voice willing to sing it again. Love never disappears, it simply becomes another star above the horizon. And somewhere beyond tomorrow, the carousel will keep spinning inside our dreams forever. I found your name inside the quiet echoes of a forgotten summer street, where every window reflected another version of the sky. The evening carried perfume from invisible gardens, while distant headlights painted silver rivers across the pavement beneath my feet. Every promise we whispered became another constellation, floating above a city that never truly learned how to sleep. I kept smiling at strangers because every unfamiliar face reminded me that miracles often arrive without asking permission. Somewhere beyond the horizon, tomorrow waited patiently, like an unopened letter written by the hands of destiny. The moon poured gentle light across the rooftops until every shadow became softer than the fears we tried to bury. Old photographs trembled inside forgotten drawers, collecting stories that only lonely hearts still remembered by candlelight. I watched passing trains disappear into endless darkness, wondering if every departure secretly carried another beginning. Your laughter continued living inside silent rooms, long after every goodbye had dissolved into midnight air. Hope became a fragile flame that refused to surrender, even while cold winds surrounded every dream. Morning arrived dressed in pale gold, touching broken memories until they shimmered like polished glass beside the sea. The waves repeated ancient lullabies that sounded older than time, yet somehow belonged only to us. Every cloud drifted slowly above forgotten highways where restless souls searched for impossible destinations. I carried my heart carefully, as though it were a crystal lantern, protecting the final spark of innocence. Love remained invisible, yet it colored every ordinary moment with extraordinary light. Neon reflections danced upon rain-soaked streets, while strangers disappeared beneath glowing umbrellas and fading conversations. The city breathed like a giant sleeping creature wrapped inside velvet silence and distant music. I searched every skyline, hoping to recognize the shape of tomorrow before sunrise claimed the stars. Every heartbeat echoed louder than traffic, because memories never obey the rules of time. The night embraced every unfinished dream without asking where it had come from. disappearing. Silence wrapped around us like delicate silk, stitched together by invisible hands. Even sadness glowed softly when touched by honest memories that refused to fade. The horizon welcomed every ending as another beautiful beginning. If tomorrow forgets our names, the wind will still remember every secret we entrusted to the sky. The stars will continue writing gentle stories above the sleeping cities that never stopped believing in miracles. Our footsteps may vanish from the sand, yet the tide will forever sing the songs we left behind. I found your name inside the quiet echoes of a forgotten summer street, where every window reflected another version of the sky. The evening carried perfume from invisible gardens, while distant headlights painted silver rivers across the pavement beneath my feet. Every promise we whispered became another constellation